Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is your boy Adele back at you once again. And for educational purposes today, I'm going to be discussing, going over some basics on how to set up a basic camp, all the details concerning the facilities that go hand in hand with the camp. Now, the desert type camps, they differ, different types for different purposes. Some are temporary, some are permanent or semi-permanent. The one we're going to be discussing today is a semi-permanent type of desert camp. Alright, so we're going to start right off the bat with the sewage system or the septic tank. You're going to need a septic tank. You're going to need a settling tank, a hole basically that you dig up, get all the dirt out. Now the depth of the hole will be 1 meter, or in terms of freedom units, it's going to be I'm sorry for the interruption going on, but I'm going to show you guys why. We're going to take a little break, commercial break, and we'll be right back. Alright, here's the reason why we're going to take a commercial break. As you can see here, there is fire going on. We are burning some effluent, which is really against regulations and environmental regulations. Don't run me over now. What the fuck is this, Paris? This is harmful for the environment. Okay, so as I was saying, I don't know if I mentioned the depth of the septic tank. It's going to be 3 feet or 1 meter. So basically, you set up the blocks, the cementing blocks, on the sides for like 90%, 95% of the depth. And then you put the cement, you apply the cement in between the blocks like we see here, so that they can hold still very well. And then basically you place, let me show you, you place the wooden plate on top of the septic tank, and then you reapply the probably the cement. I'm not sure about that, but nonetheless, you're gonna apply the final step, the dirt on the top, and then just close it off. So that's in terms of the septic tanks, like sewage system and the treatment water. In terms of actual fresh water, just a normal ass tank that you put higher than the facilities that you use, so that you can use gravity. It gravitates down to the sink to be used as gray water as well as black water then. Alright, sometimes though the freshwater tank could be placed under the facilities that you use, like we're gonna see here. In terms of level, the level of the freshwater tank should be on a higher level than the facilities that you use. But in this case, where it is lower level than the facilities level, you're gonna need a pump. And this is as simple as it gets in terms of pump. So you're gonna pump the fresh water, use the hoses to get up to the actual secondary tank. And you're probably asking, hey Adele, what kind of secondary tank are you talking about? Well, here's the thing. Well, first of all, don't yell at me. We're here to learn together, right? But here's the tank that I'm talking about. This is a secondary freshwater tank that the pump pumps up using hoses, so the water can accumulate in this beautiful tank, and then you can use this tank for the facilities. All right, so that's in terms of fresh water that's going to be used for the facilities for black and gray water, and then the septic tank that is connected in the system for treatment water and sewage purposes. All right, we're going to talk about electricity in the next episode coming right up, but meanwhile, let's go ahead and address something real quick here in front of me. As we can see, this is again the Beit Al-Shar, or the tent basically. And here, because you're in the middle of the fucking desert. There's no cable, right? And so people are used to satellites connectivity when it comes to TV connections as well as internet. So this is basically a little dish that is used to receive signal. Here's the receiver, as we can see here in front of us. And just to for some comparison, this is me, your average human being that happens to be as well in the desert right now, next to the dish. This is the dish which helps facilitate receiving the signal from way up there from the satellites. But usually we're talking about geostationary satellites that are fixed in position. We're not talking about satellites that rotate around the Earth. This is for TV. That's why the dish is fixed in a certain angle and it doesn't change for a very, very long time unless the satellites are offline, down, or maybe there's a war going on. But here's the dish, as we can see. I also forgot to mention, because people are asking in DMs, well, not really, I'm just making that up to make it a little bit interesting, but nonetheless, people are asking, what the fuck am I talking about? The freshwater tank, the primary tank, which we just saw, the big ass one, in the middle of the desert, how do you maintain that amount of fresh water? Of course, there's going to be refills going. That's why people tend to order and request refills coming from mobile tanks, basically trucks that bring tanks loaded with fresh water, and then you just pump it over here. Also, one more thing that I forgot to mention is the septic tank. The septic tank would be good for about 2 years, give or take, depending on the usage and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and move on to electricity. In terms of electricity, there's going to be a little motor going. Okay, now some of my audience probably still in middle school or something like that. So let me explain how motors work, just basically for a very fast pace here. Basically, you use some sort of fuel. In this case, the fuel that we use is gasoline. What type of gasoline? The 91 type, the Saudi type 91 gasoline, which is very popular here in Saudi. The basic type of gasoline, which is a standard one, maybe compared to the US. All right, so I forgot to mention one thing. An engineer's gonna be mad at me. It's not a fucking motor. You see, I'm not an engineer. I'm just the normal average dock officer that doesn't know much about the engine department. But here's the thing: it's a generator. It's not a motor. A motor takes electricity and then or some sort of fuel, probably. I don't know. Maybe correct that for me in the DMs, and then transfers that into physical force. But the generator basically takes fuel or maybe physical force, and then transforms that using transformers probably into electricity, into power, with a certain voltage that is used, standardized in the country, and amps as well in terms of ampere. All right, so when it comes to the generator, it's going to be placed within a compartment. The reason behind that is to avoid noise pollution caused to the residents of the camp. So this is the compartment behind me over here. And what do you say we get inside this little apartment here and show you guys what's going on? All right, let's go. All right, so here's the generator we are talking about. As you can see here in the compartment, it's very important to ventilate. Don't hate, ventilate, right? And this is the generator. The fuel tank is on the top of the generator. Again, the standardized fuel type. And then here's the generator. Now, it is important, though, to mention that the generator only applies one type of voltage with the amps and ohms that comes with it, probably. engineering friends help me out with that. But the thing is, there's only one circuit breaker. That is, only one. So if you operate the generator, it's going to power everything. If you shut it down, it's going to shut down everything. I think that's because it's a basic standard generator. Otherwise, other type generators would have multiple circuit breakers that you can manipulate together. All right, so that's a wrap. This is everything in terms of the camp, setting up a camp. This is an exquisite ass tank. No, it's a camp. All right, because my mind is preoccupied with other stuff. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy a little orange. Portugal. This is Portugal. All right, now excuse me as I address my Arabic speaking audience, my fellow Saudis. طبعا احنا الآن في الصحراء، في البر، في البران، في الخلا. وحاب أوريكم إن في كذلك سيارات معروضة للبيع، سيارات مستخدمة للي حاب يدخل في المجال هذا، واللي محتاج يعني سيارة أو شيء يمشي فيها أموره الفترة هذه. زي ما تشوفون وراي عندنا شيفروليه تاهو 2014 وكلها مستخدمة طبعا السيارات هذه. عندنا كامري كذلك 2015 وعندنا مازدا هذه عاد جديدة هذه 2019. طبعا العداد أحد يسأل على العداد، تقريبا كلها مع بعض حوالي 100,000 كيلومتر، والموسومة تقريبا يعني كل سيارة على حدة. طيب المازدا هذه زي ما قلنا على موسومة على 50,000 ريال تقريبا. طبعا السعر قابل للمناقشة، ما في أي مشكلة. الكامري هذه موسومة تقريبا على 30,000 ريال. طبعا مثل ما تلاحظون اللون كله أسود، يعني ما أدري إيش السالفة. لكن هذه شيفروليه تاهو هذا عاد 80,000 ريال موسوم في السوق الآن. مثل ما تلاحظون الهوبات تم خرطها يعني بشكل كويس، حتى التندة يعني مغيرة فحماتها. ومثل ما تشوفون كذلك أتوقع زيت الكفر آخر شيء غيروه يمكن تقريبا قبل شهر أو شيء زي كذا. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are right here performing some sort of a new method of cooking that I'm not aware of. It's called madfoon or gastra. That's the name of the cooking method we are following here. Basically, inside this aluminum foils, we got seasoned chicken. And كم راح تاخذ وقت تطبخ؟ It might take about 15 minutes to cook and prepare. So stay tuned until then.